Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today that can change the entire direction of your life if you let it. Every single breakthrough you're praying for, every blessing you're hoping for, every level you want to reach starts with one powerful decision. Take control of yourself. Not your past, not your problems, not the people who doubted you, yourself. Because the moment you decide to take control of your thinking, your habits, your emotions, and your actions, that's the moment life begins to shift in your favor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real for a moment. Every single one of us sitting here, listening to these words, has dreams that keep us awake at night, dreams that make our hearts race when we imagine them coming true. But the truth is, dreams don't magically turn into reality on their own. They don't come knocking at your door while you sit around waiting for life to hand you success. Every breakthrough, every victory, every change you've ever wanted in your life starts with one thing: taking control of yourself. I'm not talking about controlling the world around you, because let's face it, you can't control everybody else. You can't control the economy. You can't control the haters. You can't control the situations that life throws at you. But what you can control, what you absolutely, undeniably, unshakably control is yourself. And that, my friends, is the foundation for everything you're trying to build in life. You see, people spend so much time blaming their circumstances, blaming their upbringing, blaming the people who doubted them, blaming luck, blaming destiny, but they ignore the one person who has the most power in their life themselves. You can blame your boss, your spouse, the government, the pandemic, or the neighbors all you want, but until you take control of you, nothing changes. Taking control of yourself means taking control of your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, and your actions. It means deciding that you will no longer let fear run the show, that you will no longer allow doubt to dictate your steps, that you will no longer give power to excuses, because excuses are easy and they are comfortable. But comfort never been anything worthwhile. Comfort never brought a breakthrough. Breakthroughs are messy. Breakthroughs require effort. Breakthroughs require you to be intentional with every single choice you make. Let me give you a real life example. I didn't start off rich. I didn't start off famous. I didn't start off with people believing in me or doors opening for me. In fact, most people counted me out. But I learned something very early on. My circumstances didn't define me. What defined me was how I responded to those circumstances. When I was broke, when I was rejected, when doors slammed in my face, I had a choice. I could either let life control me or I could take control of me. And every time I chose the latter, something shifted. I learned that breakthroughs don't come from luck. They come from discipline. They come from persistence. They come from the decision to take responsibility for yourself, even when nobody else is watching. Taking control of yourself also means taking control of your mind. Your mind is the battlefield where your life is won or lost. If you allow negativity, doubt, and fear to live rent-free in your head, you are sabotaging your own breakthrough. But when you train your mind to focus on possibilities, when you choose thoughts that empower you rather than diminish you, when you guard your mind against the lies that tell you you're not enough, you start creating a foundation that nothing can shake. You see, the breakthrough doesn't happen first. It begins in the mind. It begins when you tell yourself, I am in charge. I am responsible. I am the captain of my ship, and I will steer it through storms if I have to. And then comes action, because taking control of yourself it's about acting differently. It's about acting differently. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about putting in the work when nobody sees it. It's about making the sacrifices today that your future self will thank you for tomorrow. Breakthroughs require daily commitment to yourself, to your growth, and to your purpose. It's waking up early, learning more, working harder, and staying consistent even when it feels like nothing is happening. That's what taking control of yourself looks like in action. So remember this: if you want breakthroughs, you must first take control of yourself. Your thoughts, your choices, your habits, your mindset, your time, these are the things you have power over. And the moment you own them, the moment you take responsibility for them, that's when the doors start to open. That's when opportunities begin to appear. That's when your life starts shifting in ways you never imagined. Because taking control of yourself is the foundation for every single breakthrough in your life. It's the first step, the key step, the step that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that most people will never admit out loud. Life will not always be fair. People will disappoint you. Situations will test you. The world will make absolutely no sense, and sometimes it will feel like everything is against you. And you know what most people do in those moments? They get angry. They complain. They feel sorry for themselves. They blame everyone else. They allow their emotions to take over, and their life stays exactly the same. But that is not what the winners, the achievers, the people who change their lives do. No, they understand a truth that changes everything. You can't control the people around you. You can't control the circumstances you find yourself in. You can't make the world bend to your will. But you can control one thing, yourself. You can control your mindset. You can control your response. And that, my friends, is where true power lies. Think about it. How many times do you let someone else's words, someone else's choices, or someone else's attitude dictate your day? How many times have you reacted in anger or frustration, only to regret it later? That's because when you allow external circumstances to control your emotions, you give away your power. You make yourself a victim. But the moment you realize that you don't have to respond the way the world wants you to, everything changes. The moment you take control of your mindset, you stop being a passenger in your own life and you start being the driver. You begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles. You begin to see lessons instead of failures. You begin to see possibilities where others see dead ends. Your mindset is like a lens through which you see the world. If that lens is cracked, if it's filled with doubt, fear, and negativity, then everything you look at will appear broken, impossible, and hopeless. But if you clean that lens, if you decide to see things with clarity, with faith, with confidence, then suddenly your world looks completely different. You start seeing doors that were always there. You start noticing solutions that were always around you. You start feeling a strength inside that you didn't know you had, and that strength comes from the simple, powerful decision to control your response. Now, controlling your response doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending that bad things don't happen. It means choosing how you act in the face of them. It means deciding that no matter what comes your way, you will not let it break you. It means understanding that other people's negativity, their opinions, their failures, and their mistakes are not your problem unless you make them your problem. You can acknowledge what's happening around you, but still choose to rise above it. That is where real breakthroughs happen. That is where success is born, not from what happens to you, but from how you handle what happens to you. And let me tell you, this is not easy. Nobody said it would be. Life is going to test your patience, your perseverance, your character. People will say things to try to tear you down. Circumstances will push against you. The economy will fluctuate. Opportunities may seem limited. But here's the thing: your response is always within your control. Your mindset is always within your control. And when you master that, you become unstoppable. You no longer wait for things to be perfect. You no longer let fear paralyze you. You no longer need approval or validation from anyone else because you know who you are and you know what you are capable of. So remember this, ladies and gentlemen, you can't control other people. You can't control every situation, but you can control how you respond. You can control the way you think, the way you act, and the way you approach life's challenges. And when you do that consistently, you are no longer at the mercy of the world. You are in command. You are leading your life instead of being led by it. You are creating your own success instead of waiting for it. And that, my friends, is the difference between a life lived and a life that is truly powerful, impactful, and extraordinary. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be completely honest with you. One of the biggest things holding people back in life isn't talent, isn't education, and isn't luck, it's excuses. Oh yes, excuses. I hear them all the time. If only I had, it's not my fault. Listen, excuses are comfortable. They give you a reason not to try, a reason not to work, a reason not to step up. But I'm here to tell you, they will kill your dreams faster than anything else. Success doesn't wait for excuses. Success doesn't care about your problems. Success doesn't owe you anything. The moment you stop making excuses and start owning your choices, that's the moment your life begins to change. That's the moment your breakthrough starts. You see, life will always give you reasons not to move forward. Life will always test you. Life will always throw challenges in your path, and it's easy to point fingers, to blame circumstances, to say, I can't because of this or that. But here's the truth, nobody is coming to rescue you. Nobody is coming to fix your life. Nobody owes you a free pass to greatness. The only person who can take responsibility for your success is you, and that starts with owning your choices. Owning your choices means looking in the mirror and telling yourself, yes, I am responsible for where I am right now, and I am responsible for where I am going. It means understanding that every decision you make today is building the future you will live in tomorrow. Every action, every habit, every thought contributes to the life you are creating. If you are waiting for someone to hand you success, waiting for circumstances to be perfect, waiting for the stars to align, you're wasting precious time. You are giving your power away, but the moment you take ownership of your choices, everything changes. You stop waiting for luck. You stop blaming others. You stop letting life pass you by. You start taking action. You start moving forward. You start building the life you want, brick by brick, day by day. And let me be clear, owning your choices doesn't mean it will be easy. It will be hard. It will be uncomfortable. You will have to face the fact that some of the mistakes you've made were yours and yours alone. You will have to admit that sometimes you've been lazy, sometimes you've been scared, and sometimes you've let fear control you. But here's the beauty of owning your choices. It's also incredibly liberating. Once you stop blaming, once you stop making excuses, you realize that you are in control. You realize that you hold the power to turn things around. You realize that your destiny is in your hands, not anyone else's. Success begins when you take responsibility for your actions. You can't complain about where you are while refusing to do the work to get somewhere else. You can't cry about missed opportunities while avoiding taking chances. You can't expect doors to open if you don't knock on them yourself. The people who are successful, the ones who are achieving their dreams, they understand this. They understand that excuses are the enemy of progress. They understand that accountability to themselves is everything. And they understand that the more they own their choices, the faster they move toward their goals. So today I challenge you, stop making excuses. Stop blaming your circumstances, your upbringing, your failures, or the people around you. Stop waiting for permission to live the life you've been dreaming about. Own your choices. Own your decisions. Own your mistakes. Own your grind. Because once you do, You step into a place of power where nothing can stop you. Once you take responsibility for your life, your success is no longer a matter of luck, it's a matter of action. And action, my friend, is wins. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be straight with you. Nobody ever becomes great by accident. Nobody ever achieves a life worth living by sitting around hoping things will magically fall into place. You want transformation. You want the kind of life that makes people stop and say, how did they do it? Then you better understand this, it doesn't come from luck. It doesn't come from wishful thinking. And it sure as heaven doesn't come from talent alone. Transformation comes from three things: discipline, intention, and self-belief. These are the engines that power your journey, and without them, nothing moves forward. Discipline is the foundation. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when your body is begging you to stay under the covers. Discipline is what makes you work on your dreams, even when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping, when nobody cares. Discipline is what separates the people who talk about changing their lives from the people who actually do it. And let me tell you, discipline requires sacrifices. It requires saying no to temporary pleasures so you can say yes to long-term success. It requires consistency. It requires showing up every single day, regardless of how you feel. Because feelings are fleeting, but discipline builds momentum, and momentum builds results. But discipline alone is not enough. You can be disciplined and still wander aimlessly if you don't have intention. Intention is the compass that points you in the right direction. Intention is knowing why you're doing what you're doing, understanding the purpose behind your actions, and making sure every step you take aligns with your vision. Without intention, discipline is just hard work for the sake of exhaustion. But with intention, every early morning, every long night, every ounce of effort carries you closer to your goals. Intention gives clarity. Intention gives focus. Intention ensures that your energy is not wasted on distractions or things that don't matter. When you are intentional about your life, you are deliberate about the person you are becoming. And then comes self-belief. Discipline and intention will take you far. But without belief in yourself, they will never take you all the way. Self-belief is the fire that fuels your actions when the world doubts you. Self-belief is the voice that says, yes, I can, even when everyone else says, no, you can't. Self-belief is what makes you keep going after rejection, after failure, after disappointment, because you know deep down that you are capable of more. Let me tell you something. People will doubt you. People will laugh at you. People will try to convince you that you can't. But if you believe in yourself, nothing they say matters. Your belief in yourself will carry you through storms that would sink the average person. Discipline, intention, and self-belief work together like a well-oiled engine. Discipline fuels the effort. Intention directs the effort. Self-belief keeps the engine running when the road gets rough. And when you combine these three, you become unstoppable. You start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You start to rise above fear, doubt, and negativity. You start transforming not just your circumstances, but yourself. Because personal transformation is not about changing the world around you. It's about changing the world inside you first. It's about building habits, shaping your mindset, and strengthening your character until your life finally reflects the greatness that has always been inside of you. And here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen, nobody will do this for you. Nobody will force you to be disciplined. Nobody will guarantee that you have intention. Nobody will hand you self-belief. This is all on you. But the good news is, when you commit to these three engines, when you make discipline, intention, and self-belief your daily practice, you unlock a power that cannot be stopped. You begin to attract opportunities, people, and situations that match your energy. You begin to see doors open that you didn't even know existed. You begin to become the person you were meant to be, the person you were created to be, the person who can achieve greatness against all odds. So remember this: if you want transformation, if you want success, if you want a life that makes a difference, you must fuel your life with discipline, steer your life with intention, empower your life with self-belief. These are the engines that drive personal transformation, and once you embrace them fully, nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop you from becoming the extraordinary person you were born to be. Ladies and gentlemen, let me speak some truth to you right now. The world is full of people who want greatness, but very few are willing to pay the price for it. Everyone wants to live a life that inspires, that commands respect, that leaves a legacy, but most people want to do it without sacrifice. They want comfort over challenge. They want shortcuts over hard work. They want recognition without responsibility. But here's the reality: greatness doesn't come from choosing comfort, and it doesn't come from choosing the easy way out. Greatness comes when you choose purpose over comfort, responsibility over excuses, and you make decisions that align with the life you want, even when it's difficult. Comfort is seductive. It's okay, just settle. It's okay to stay where you are. You're safe here. And most people listen to that voice because comfort feels good. But comfort will never push you to your potential. Comfort will never challenge you. Comfort will never help you grow. If you want to be great, you have to step out of the cozy, warm place that feels safe and move into the uncomfortable zone where growth lies. You have to embrace the struggle, the uncertainty, and even the fear, because purpose is rarely comfortable. Purpose is demanding. Purpose calls for sacrifices that only you can make. But here's the thing about purpose: it's powerful. It's what gets you out of bed when you don't feel like it. It's what keeps you going when nobody else believes in you. It's what drives you to keep moving forward, even when life seems to push back against you. I'm not talking about being responsibility. Too many people fail to realize that greatness requires accountability. Greatness doesn't wait for someone to rescue you. Greatness doesn't happen while you're pointing fingers at everyone else, saying, "It's not my fault. I didn't have a chance. I was dealt a bad hand." That's just fear wearing a mask. Responsibility means owning your life, your actions, your choices, and your mistakes. It means deciding that you will no longer let circumstances define you, and that you will no longer let excuses rob you of your future. Responsibility is heavy, yes, but it is also liberating, because the moment you take responsibility for your life, you take power. You take control. You are no longer at the mercy of chance, luck, or other people. You are in charge of your destiny. Greatness requires that you combine purpose with responsibility. It's not enough to want something. It's not enough to have a dream. You must actively pursue it, and that pursuit demands discomfort, discipline, and accountability. The world will test you. People will doubt you. Challenges will appear. Opportunities will seem scarce. And in those moments, you have to choose purpose over comfort. You have to choose responsibility over excuses. You have to make the decision to move forward, no matter what. Because comfort will tell you to quit. Excuses will tell you it's not your fault. But purpose and responsibility will tell you to rise. I've seen it over and over again in my own life and in the lives of people I've met. The ones who achieve greatness are never the ones who coast through life. They are never the ones who look for an easy path. They are the ones who wake up every morning ready to do the work, ready to face the hard choices, ready to push through when everyone else stops. They are the ones who decide that comfort is not an option, that excuses are not acceptable, and that responsibility is their ticket to a better life. So, ladies and gentlemen, greatness is not something that happens by accident. It doesn't happen by luck or wishful thinking. It happens when you intentionally choose it every single day. It happens when you put purpose above comfort and responsibility above excuses. And the beautiful thing is, the moment you make that choice consistently, you start to see the difference. You start to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You start to attract opportunities that match your new energy. You start to live a life that not only changes your story, but inspires the people around you. That is what it means to choose greatness. And that, my friends, is the path to leaving a legacy that will be remembered long after you are gone. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that will change the way you see your life if you really take it to heart. Every person in this room has greatness inside them. Every single one of us has potential that is just waiting to be tapped into, waiting to be unleashed, waiting to make an impact on the world. But here's the catch. None of that potential will ever be realized if you continue to let your life be controlled by fear, doubt, bad habits, or the opinions of others. You have to take control of yourself. And I don't mean just controlling the small stuff. I mean controlling your mind, your emotions, your choices, your actions, and your destiny. Because the moment you take control of yourself, you unlock the path to your destiny and the God-given potential that has been placed inside of you from the very beginning. Too many people go through life waiting for someone to tell them it's their time, waiting for someone to give them permission to succeed, waiting for circumstances to be perfect. But let me tell you something, your destiny doesn't wait, your gifts don't wait. God's plan for you doesn't wait. It's already in motion, and the only way to align yourself with it is to take control of yourself. You have to decide that you will no longer be a passenger in your own life. You have to decide that you will no longer allow your emotions, your fears, or other people to steer the ship. You are the captain of your destiny, and you are responsible for where your life is heading. Taking control of yourself starts with your mind. Your mind is the command center for everything you do. If you allow negativity, self-doubt, or limiting beliefs to occupy that space, you are cutting off the very power that can move you forward. And when you train your mind to focus on possibilities, to see solutions instead of problems, and to believe that you are capable of greatness, you begin to unlock doors that you didn't even know existed. You begin to see opportunities that were always there, but hidden behind fear and uncertainty. Your mind, when under your control, becomes the most powerful tool you have to navigate life's challenges and create the life you were meant to live. But control doesn't stop with your mind. It extends to your emotions. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Situations will frustrate you. And when those moments come, and they will come, you have a choice. You can allow anger, bitterness, or fear to take over, or you can respond with patience, wisdom, and faith. The person who takes control of themselves does not let their emotions dictate their actions. They understand that their response to adversity determines the trajectory of their life. Your destiny is not decided by what happens to you. It's decided by how you respond to what happens to you. Taking control also means taking ownership of your actions. Every choice you make, every habit you form, every effort you put forth is shaping the life you will live. If you are careless, inconsistent, or passive, your potential will remain locked away. But if you are intentional, disciplined, and proactive, you begin to move closer to the life you were created to live. The moment you take control of yourself, you stop waiting for life to happen to you and start making life happen for you. You start aligning your actions with your purpose. You start walking the path that leads directly to your destiny. And here's the beauty of it. When you take control of yourself, you don't just unlock your destiny. You unlock the God-given potential that is already inside you. You discover strengths you didn't know you had. You develop resilience you didn't know was possible. You attract opportunities, people, and experiences that help you grow into the person you were meant to become. Everything shifts when you step into full responsibility for your life. You become unstoppable. You become empowered. You become aligned with the greatness that is waiting for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, the choice is yours. You can continue letting life happen to you, allowing fear, doubt, and distractions to steal your destiny, or you can take control of yourself. You can master your mind, govern your emotions, and own your actions. You can unlock the path to your destiny and unleash the God-given potential that has been inside of you all along. Your greatness is waiting, your purpose is calling, and your time is now.